Welcome back to Uprising. I'm Sonali Kohatkar. It was 5 years ago, on January 21st, 2010, that the U.S. Supreme Court, in its decision on Citizens United versus FEC, eviscerated some of the last protections of our electoral system from moneyed interests. The decision was historic, and known colloquially as Citizens United. It unleashed a torrent of corporate dollars into electoral races, with each election breaking records for how much has been spent. Democracy activists have seen Citizens United as one of the most important hurdles to many progressive causes. Over the past 5 years, thousands of people have marched, petitioned Congress, passed city council resolutions and state bills against the decision, and even agitated for a constitutional amendment to overturn it. Joining us now to give us an update on the progress made toward eroding Citizens United is Holly Mosher. She's a Los Angeles-based activist and the executive producer of Pay to Play, a film about the American electoral system. Welcome, Holly.
Hi, Sonali. Nice to be here.
Thanks so much for joining us. Well, first of all, what sort of unleashing of money have we seen? Before we give our listeners who may not be aware of Citizens United, which is difficult given how well it has been talked about, but how have we seen the direct outcome of Citizens United in our elections since the decision 5 years ago?
Right. Well, the last election cycle, we saw $10 billion. It's outlined very clearly in Dollarocracy, a book by John Nichols, $10 billion in 2012. And this election cycle, which was not a presidential year, it's getting even bigger. So it's just exponentially growing. And there's no end in sight until we fix this problem.
So in the last 5 years, clearly money has flooded in greater amounts. We should, of course, say that Citizens United wasn't the only problem. We already had a system geared towards the moneyed. Since Citizens United, we had another decision, McCutcheon versus FEC. But Citizens United was really significant in what happened in terms of these super PACs, this outside money, a type of political committee that wasn't possible before Citizens United. And so far, Jeb Bush, eyeing the presidency, has already created his super PAC.
Yep. Well, this is the age of super PACs. I mean, there's even super PACs just for one candidate. And that's something that we're seeing that was never done before. Before it was, issues, and now it's, each candidate has their own super PAC.
Right, you would have a super PAC that supports, for example, the Republican Party agenda, and the Democrats have their own super PAC standing for Political Action Committee. So now they're starting their own individual committees, and all they need is one billionaire who could funnel money endlessly into that committee, and then they have to essentially create a sort of plausible deniability. As long as there's no direct connection between the candidate and the super PAC, it's fine.
Right. In fact, these committees, these super PACs, are buying ads that are not even in the control of the candidate, supposedly, and often they're not. So, I mean, you're not even in control of the messaging for your own campaign. So and they're outspending the candidates by far already. It's really crazy.